I'm going to start over here. At my core, who I am behind the learned behavior, the conditioning that I've been accruing my entire life, is that which was present in the womb. I look at my soon-to-be one-year-old son, and sometimes, quite often in fact, particularly when I'm tired, stressed, or buried in my own wants, needs, or problems, and wonder why he cries. And I'm not talking about distressed crying, I'm talking about attention-seeking crying. If you're a parent, you'll know what I'm talking about. To me, it just sounds like moaning or complaining, like whinging for the sake of it. Extremely annoying, truth be told. But early this morning, I woke up around 3:30. I followed a guided meditation. In fact, it was a sleep hypnosis video that I found on YouTube, and it had a pretty profound and unexpected effect on me. There were moments where literally all tension disappeared. As I scanned my experience from top to bottom, I could find nothing at all but a kind of warm, floaty, enveloping, I don't know, buzz of aliveness. It almost felt like an out-of-body experience and reminded me of a 5-gram mushroom trip that I did a few years back. Anyway, I came out of that experience and realized, or at least felt quite strongly, that what I had experienced was just the same as what my son had felt in the womb. In other words, I came to the conclusion that beneath the accrued conditioning, the formation of my character or my identity, I and my son are exactly the same. That beneath all the shit, I too am embryonic or childlike. And with that realization came a huge rush of compassion for myself. I am a child at my core, and look at what the world requires of me. A defenseless, vulnerable child who's still reeling from no longer being in the warm safety of my mother's womb. The daily, momentary affront on my senses and emotions, the loneliness, the disconnect. I cried like a baby during the hypnosis experience, by the way, which feels embarrassing even to admit to myself. All that the child I still am at my core desires is to be loved, connected to his mother, embraced, taken care of. And the conclusion I came to is that this is why my son cries too. Of course, this doesn't mean I pick him up or give him attention every time he asks for it, for he must be prepared for what's coming. He can't return to the womb. It's a harsh reality. Now, I don't know if any of this makes sense or connects. I'm confusing myself just reading it back. I guess what I really want to convey to myself is that I'm a child. And what I really want at the deepest subconscious level is to be enveloped by love, to return to the womb. And if that's the case for me, it's probably the case for everyone else too. Life is hard and lonely, and no wonder we have vices and addictions, that we're constantly running or looking for an escape route from where we find ourselves through distractions, short-term gratification, or why single people are so desperate to find a partner, or feel something even slightly akin to a mother or father's love. Why most people are so completely hooked on likes or replies on social media. Why where I live in Asia, people literally go to cafes in their droves and leave their drinks untouched when they're done posing with them, exclusively to take what my grandparents would call shameful photos of themselves, just to upload to the internet to get a tiny hit of what the child inside of them most deeply desires, cries for relentlessly. Just like my one-year-old son. Now, I don't know what to do with this, call it information or just a misplaced feeling, whatever it is, but I think it's valuable to know. I can at least say that the morning I had after what I've described felt significantly more peaceful than a regular morning for me. I feel like I've treated myself more compassionately. I've given myself a break, so to speak. Now, fail likely I will, but I endeavour, moving forwards, to remind myself that my core, the base layer of what I am, hasn't changed for as long as I've been alive. I am a child, with layers of stuff superimposed, masking that fact. The very least I can do is treat myself with more lightness, to be gentler and more forgiving of my failures, mistakes, and limitations. Now that's as far as I got with that journal entry. I guess I'll end the video there because nothing really comes to mind. And I think that's a product of the fact that I'm recording myself, even though no one watched the first 2 videos I produced. So I should have zero pressure on speaking openly, but somehow the existence of the camera still creates a block in my mind and slows down my thought process. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep recording my thoughts, and I believe that through practice, just like with everything else, I'll become freer in my ability to convey what's running through my head. Anyway, I've probably wasted or at least taken up enough of your time. So that's the end of the video. Have a great day.